Welcome again, everybody, to episode number 38 of my South Olympic Branch Update series. Well, got lots of scenery work to do, so let's get cracking. Time to get some scenery work in. Just going to blend into this last batch, which I realized I probably didn't get on video, to the next bit. And just spreading out the old Eileen's tacky glue. And I'm gonna go put this this glue brush in the water here in a second. As soon as I get the glue spread out the way I want it, so that it doesn't get all dried up with glue. Okay. And I've already put down a little bit of sifted face sand for the ballast there, and I need to get my spoon for the ground foam. Let's see. That looks like a good mix right there to start with. Okay. So let's see. Doing a lot, but or at least it'll look like a lot at first. Let's see. This is a mixture of some different kinds of foams. There's some earth. There's some, like, I want to say something like a medium green in there. And usually I like to use a smaller spoon, but I can't find it. So I'm just gonna deal with using this one right now. All right. And so I kind of started out the same way with the last bit that you see here in the video, which I didn't film. Probably should have, but you know, sometimes I just feel like doing it and not dinking around with recording it while I'm doing it. Let's see. So here's a mixture of some coarse turf that I'm going to put on top of that. And the nice thing about this big container is that I can do that. I can dump it over to the side because I've got the container positioned underneath the this actual layer of layout too. And so then I can kind of take my finger and scatter it. And, you know, the great thing about using your finger in something like this is if you get it, get stuff stuck to your finger, you can always just, you know, use a little water and clean your, a little soap and a little water, clean your finger, move on with your life. Sometimes brushes and such get that stuff, then you, of course, you've ruined the brush. So. All right. Okay. All right, now got to come back over that with some isopropyl and some sanding cement. And it does look a little bit lighter than this over here, but when I go back over that with the alcohol and the glue, the cement, it will get darker. So, matter of fact, Sometimes I like to have it stay a little lighter, but you can do what you can do. I suppose I could, custom tint my own ground foam and all of that. Boy, I don't think that's happening in this lifetime. Of course, maybe if I got, maybe I should look into the knock stuff. Maybe they'll have some colors that Woodland Scenics doesn't provide. Could do that too. Right now, though, I've got a lot of this stuff, and it does, I think, look pretty good when it's all said and done. So, all right. That's probably good. Another thing I often do is I'll do a layer of scenery like this, and I'll come back later and I'll add some more to it. And I'll go, well, that looks a little thin, or, you know, something, and I'll just add to it. I may even maybe put some static grass in here at some point. Who knows? All right. Okay. Going to finally get around to gluing down the spur track here. In kind of the foreground, you'll see that I've been doing a little more scenery work. But getting this track glued down will allow me to finish scenery up here, or at least this part of it. I just have to make sure that I get the alignment correct, because I know that if I don't, cars may not roll very well there. Okay, time to cheat a little bit. Some car testing. That wasn't the one that was picking the switch. I don't think these were either. Matter of fact, I know they weren't. Whoa, let's not do that. Okay. There's only 2 more turnouts I've got to put up here. But as the old saying goes, I've got other fish to fry before I get to that. So, push this over and see if I can get this up. These cars rolling through. It looks like it'll do it. Looks like we're good there. Oops. Well, okay. That was supposed to happen, but you know, they ain't gonna come through the turnouts perfect every time. And look at me re-railing stuff on a turnout. Anyway, let's see. That looks good. Now, I can go get a track bumper to put up here. One of the few things I was able to salvage from the old Southland Liquor branch was these little track bumpers that I assembled from Walther's kits. This one's a little broken. I'll have to fix that. But for now, it adds a nice little detail to the end of that track. I'm also going to weather that first. Weather that track, that is. Okay, let's do a little bit more ballasting. Like that. Okay. Let's see. Put a little bit there. There. Okay. I know people have their methods of doing ballasting. For some reason or another, this kind of thing with my finger and the brush seems to be my favorite. When I'm doing the sides of the track, I like to have the ballast kind of up against the rail at first. Then I work it away from there, giving myself, it seems to help make it look filled in right up underneath the rail, which if you've done a little bit of this, when you start doing that, you'll find that, of course, getting it under the rail doesn't seem like a big deal, but if you take a close-up picture of it, it looks better when it is, and it's easier to see than you'd think. So let's see. That. Set my finger on top of the rail and run it across, knocking the biggest part of the ballast off of there, and then coming back with my brush and just lightly contouring it off of there. And one more time with my finger. Yep. I think that looks pretty good. I get the side of the rail. Sometimes I'll go through and put a little glue on the side of the profile before I do the side of the roadbed, and you'll know that this time I didn't do that. I would say that I have done a lot of rail painting this morning. I probably spent about an hour on it. From the diverging route up here to the turnouts, and some of which I painted both sides of those because I can, when I'm looking down the line, I can foresee a time when I'd take video of a switching operation there and then be annoyed because it was shiny on the other side. Yeah, that's me. What can I say? A lot more painting to do up there, but I also still need to build a couple of number 4 turnouts, as I'm going to put a crossover somewhere back there. Anyway, then on the other side of the river, I painted the rail going around the corner over there. And this is another one of those sections where, because I can kind of see both sides, I felt the need to paint both sides of the rail. It's annoying, but I know that it'll look good in the future. Since I spent all the time painting track this morning and last night, probably the only thing that is the best test is to run a train through it and see if it stalls. I've tried to clean the rail, but I'm sure a lot of you already know how that goes when you painted it. Of course, it helps that, I've prod the frogs and such. That's a good one. This particular locomotive, as you just saw, is kind of picky. So I'm not at all surprised that it stalled right there. It's a good looking locomotive though. I'd like to have like one or two other Weyerhaeuser locomotives, but I really haven't seen ones made that I'm particularly interested in. So time to do a little track cleaning there. Although it went through that switch the other direction, but those of you who have a solid amount of experience with model railroading probably know how that goes too. Engineer seems a little harder than it looks. Let's see, it looks like we're set for straight through. All right. That looks good. I might even need another coat on part of that rail to really make it stand out. Also going to need to test the other line here. In the meantime, I figured that you guys have watched me lay down enough ballast and ground foam for one episode, so I'm going to end it here. But before I do that, I wanted to point out one additional thing. I'm going to have to take the phone out of the tripod so you can see this. I managed to get around to putting styrene filling into the electrical gaps here. I read that letting the metal wheels drop into the gap can, bridge that gap, which you don't want. So, and I don't like the look of a gap in my rail anyway, so I went ahead and just filled that in. There's probably an easier way to do this than using 030 styrene. I haven't found it. You got any suggestions, throw it up in the comments and I'll look into it. Anyway, well, until next time, be safe and have fun with your trains out there. Thanks for watching.